Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone. How about you? I hope you are stay safe and healthy. Okay, today I want to explaining my coursebook evaluation under the title Experiencing in English. Okay, before we enter to the material, I will explain the identity of book. The identity of book, there are from the writer is Dr. Anda Sriwaidiati, MED. For the second is Yusnita Febrianti, SPDMA. For the editor is Tim Mass Media Buana Pustaka. For the cover designer is Ujang Prayana. For the content layout designer, Ujang Prayana. For the content layout is Tuti.s. For the publication year is 2013. Layout book designer using Adobe InDesigner CS3 and Adobe Photoshop CS3. For the font is using Garamond. For book size is 17.5x 25 cm. For number of pages is 176 pages. The title of book Experiencing English for Junior High School Student Year 9, ISBN 978 602-232-185 and 9. For the printing is Mass Media Buana Pustaka. Enter to the evaluation criteria. For the first is vocabulary. For vocabulary, we are according to my book, the vocabulary are, for the first is textual and no meanings. For the second is lots of picture explained by expression. For the third, some vocabulary are suitable for student and some vocabulary are difficult to understand by the student because the word there is no meaning and explaining. For the next, grammar. In the grammar, we are talk about the grammar in my book. There are 12 units, but it's just explain only 7 units. For the first is adverb of frequency. For the example is I often go to cinema. For the second, we use present continuous tense. The example is we cannot play outside because is it raining. The tenses expressing the activity that in progress all the moment of speaking, then we call it by present progressive tense. For the third is congratulating other. For the example is happy birthday or thank you. For the next comparative adjective, for the example is small, it's come to smaller, and happy, it's been happier. The note, if the adjective consists by a single syllable, we have to add er at the end, and if we are using more to syllable, we can add more before the adjective. For the next is the differences between wish and hope. For the example, I hope you will be successful, and I wish you were smarter. For the next is starting preference. In this material, my course book using 3 points. For the first, using prefer. So using would rather. For the next is using like better. For the example, I prefer donut to meatball. I would eat rice than noodles. For the next is I like ice cream better than lemon juice. For the next, simple past tense. In this material, it divided by 2 types of questions. For the first is the question yes or no answer. For the second is WH question. For the example, did he watch concert last night? For the second, what did you see at the music concert last week? And the third, where did the band play last Wednesday? For the next is giving suggestion. Example, you can eat more fruits every day. It consists on casual suggestion. And for the second, you have to eat more fruit. It consists to casual suggestion, a little bit stronger than can. So for the next, you should eat more fruits. It's formal suggestion or the strong enough. And for the last is you must eat more fruit. It's formal suggestion or the strongest suggestion. For the next is passive voice. For the example, my bike was stolen. Okay, for the next material, we talk about the text of Coursebook. According to my coursebook, the text of the books contains first, narrative text. This relate on page 30 and 36. For the second, the text use the authentic language. For the third, the subject matter is present and logical enough. And the next is the explaining of each material is less. The next, we talk about the cultural contents. For the cultural contents, we talk about, for the first is description of place in Indonesia. It relate on page 30, 36, and 137. For the second, list showing Indonesian special food. List relate on page 15. And for the third is showing a picture of mutual help. For the next, telling some Indonesian folk tale. Okay, and third to next material, we talk about visual aids. According to my coursebook, the visual aids of the book contains, for the first, the picture is clear. For the second, the picture is colorful. Third, the layout is tedious. Okay, next, we talk about the physical makeup. Physical makeup of my book consists of, for the first is, book size is appropriate according to the era. For the second, the attractive layout is quite appropriate, especially for student grade 9. So for the third is, binding of book is very neat. For the next, the title too short to attract the student. And the last is exercise activities. Okay, for the exercise activities relate on my book, this so clear because the common is easy to understand for the student grade 9. For the first, for the example is, fix the mistake below. Some sentence might not need to be corrected on page 60. So for the second is, now try to make some imperative sentence to give tips or instruction for the following cases. You can do it with a partner. This on page 155. Okay, maybe enough here my presentation. And I ask sorry if you found some mistake from me. And the last I say you, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Stay safe and healthy.